watching the Press Box. We're live from the Kampala Serena Hotel, and as always, proudly powered by Guinness. Now, if you go to Bugwanya village in Wakiso district, there's a fantastic school called the Mwesigwa Comprehensive High School. Ande is here, and disappointing for us, he says he's not the headmaster, which is quite surprising. So good evening and a warm welcome, Ande, to the Press Box. How have you been?
Yeah, not bad.
You're not the headmaster?
No, I'm not the headmaster. I'm just the director of the school.
Director of the school.
Yes.
So you realize we have a huge conversation coming up about the school itself and what you're doing moving forward. I think I want us to act like a Uganda show, like a Chimeza,
yes,
where the host says, Ande, uza abantu, uza abantu. So please, first greet the Uganda Cranes fans out there so we can kick off.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, a very good evening to everybody watching this show. And special greetings to our fans for the Uganda Cranes.
Oh, fantastic. Let's start right there. We are up against Burkina Faso. You know what the pressure of playing for the national side is. You also know that if we win, we have a huge opportunity of returning to the AFCON, third time in a row. What do you think is going on in those players' minds in camp at the moment, specifically the younger lads?
Good enough. These are young boys, but to me, I think they have the experience. Yeah, and I think there is no pressure in the team at the moment. Why? Uganda is no longer called an underdog. We are giants in Africa. Yep. That is what I should say. So I hope with the squad in the camp, I know there is no pressure.
Yep.
They've been to that stage, and actually most of them are playing professional football. To me, I think, yeah, they are comfortable and ready for the game without any pressures.
And whenever I have a chance of meeting an ex-player, I'm always very interested in what they think of the current team. I mean, you played in some quality sides.
Yeah.
We have some youngsters coming through this team as well. How happy are you with the future of Ugandan football?
Yeah, I'm really very happy. And I hope the future is also very bright. Why? Because we have a very good setup right now. You're seeing the league is developing every now and then. And you're seeing we are getting very, very good players, being scouted and spotted by different clubs abroad. We are always exporting players. Yep. Right now in Africa, we have like 7, you know? And in Europe and US as well, you're seeing we have players there. So to me, I think it is very good for our country and very good for the game of football.
So look, I want to get, just before I bring in Mwangusha and Mark, I want to get the Wednesday game out of the way because you've played in these pressure situations. But unfortunately, you're also a player who has been in a couple of controversies in your life. The one player who is one of the more experienced in controversy at the moment is Khalid Awucho. The federation has suspended him from the team because he decided to use different means of transport from the airport. He's since apologized. But what a blow then that Khalid Awucho does not play against Burkina Faso.
I understand he's suspended, right?
He's
officially
for
the game.
Yeah, for the game.
For the game, yeah. So he was brought in, I think, to be with the team, with the group, and prepare for Malawi. Yeah, but to me, I think his act wasn't good and wasn't professional enough. You know, once you're playing outside Uganda, more so in good professional leagues, you know, in Africa, we recognize Egypt so much. I don't think a player to that caliber would do such an act. If you, actually even the clubs themselves, if you do that to the club, when you're at the club, it is a very big problem for you. You know, you go in for a suspension, they cut your pay, and you know, you get a lot of penalties. Yeah, so to me, I think it wasn't professional enough, though I don't know what really forced him to do that. Yeah, but to me, when it comes to discipline, I think he was not right.
But refreshingly, he has since apologized.
Which is very good.
He issued a statement yesterday and put whatever he had said prior behind him, wished the team well, and he asked for forgiveness from everyone.
Okay, let's start off here. I hope, Mark Sally, you can hear me. Just before we came on air, we're having a discussion with Mwesigwa here, and he says, when Mark Sally says something, you need to listen. Because when the Mwesigwas were still youngsters, you already were writing.
We are looking up to them.
Yeah, they were looking up to you. Talk about being a journalist, talk about being a footballer. So let me start here, Mark. Mwesigwa for you. What comes to mind? How huge a player was he, and how did you first know him?
No, Andy was very huge. You know, there are players who have an impact on the game because of the way they conduct themselves, because of their performances, the quality of their performances at the highest level. Now, Andy, of course, knows the kind of competition he had to fight for him to be playing in the central defense for Uganda, and for him to stay around long enough to be trusted with leadership in that camp around that time, with the quality that was there and everything that was going on and off the pitch. So it's one of the things I liked about him is the fact that he showed leadership, he showed longevity, because it's one of the things that I always look to in sportsmen around the globe. How long do you stay around? How well do you take care of your body so you can play for on and on and on? And I think even up to the point when he retired, I thought that there was still some juice left in there. He will tell us about that. That was my impression from seeing that. I thought that maybe there was still a year or two in there left for which he could perform. But I thought that he did very well. And when he talks discipline there, it's one of those things that you really an attribute that you give to him. People who are in leadership positions, and especially guys who play in centre back positions. I don't know why. He will tell us perhaps about that. They tend to be leaders, and also they tend to be the epitome of discipline, because largely I think because if they make mistakes on the pitch, or if they get playful and unprofessional and everything, usually theirs are more punished than a striker. A striker can miss a chance and the team still wins. But if a defender makes a mistake, it's most likely resulting in a goal, and most likely a bad result, a loss or a draw, whatever it is. So maybe that is one of the things that keeps them on their toes. But what Andy reminds me of is a disciplined performer who took his craft seriously and performed at the very highest level for a long time. Okay. That is what I remember. But I'm also very flattered when he says that we are the guys that they looked up to. Of course, it's a very good thing to hear. For example, I know that I was around before him. I'm much older and everything, but I was never as good a footballer as he was. I didn't turn out to be that.
That's true.
I didn't play for my country or captain it or anything like that. So for him to say that he looked up to people like us is a quite nice
Mark,
thing to hear.
Mark, he said he used to watch you in Makerere.
I commend Andrew.
He says he used to watch you in Makerere just for a real detail.
So I know how good you are.
In Makerere, yeah?
Yeah, so he says he knows how good you are.
I think I was okay. I was okay, but like I say, well, if I didn't play for my country and he played for the country, I played for my country in a totally different discipline. But in the football, I wasn't good enough to make it there. I think it's the injuries, but I don't want to go on about it.
Mark, you played for your house. It's okay.
Okay,
I prefer in the league as well. I prefer to praise the guys who actually did a fantastic job like Andy. So for me, those are the guys who deserve all the credit. So let's talk Andy here.
We're going to come back to you, Andy. Look, we want to talk about the school, we want to talk about so many things, but before I bring in Mwangusha again, I've said this twice, but let me start here. So you leave Mbale Heroes and come to AC Villa.
Yes.
First major move.
Yeah.
And this is being crafted by Milton Mitrosredejovic.
Yeah.
I think let's start here. How, first of all, do you become a Mbale Heroes player? And at what point do you come to Villa? How did that happen?
Yeah, let me take this opportunity to even thank my coach, my first Super League coach. That is Coach Namakola Charles. Yeah, this is the coach who scouted me in schools. We were playing post-primary in Masindi. So he spotted me from there, and he recommended me to join Busia United. So when he was handed the job to be the coach, so he brought me in, played for that club, Busia United. Then it is from there that I made a transfer to Mbale Heroes. Actually, we went with him from Busia United to Mbale Heroes. Yeah, so he's my father in football. Yeah, and so I played in Mbale Heroes for 2 seasons. And that was 2001 and 2 as well. You know, in the Super League, you play against all the teams. And so I happened to play against Sports Club Villa and these other big clubs. And I caught the eye of Coach Mitchell. So he recommended that I should be, brought into Villa. But there was a controversy that people thought I was a Kenyan. Because
how did that come about?
Because in Imbara Heroes, actually I was the only Ugandan there.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest were Kenyans. Some Ugandans, but with a Kenya link. So we played, and we could use Swahili. So people were like, all of them are what? Kenyans. But it was my brother, Mokasa Robert, the goalkeeper then of Sports Club Villa, who told them, you know what, that is my brother, he's a Ugandan. And, they got in the guts of bringing me to Sports Club Villa.
Okay. Dre, you want
for me, it will come straight up to today.
Yeah. Okay.
When you play football over 14 years, and then suddenly it hits you that you're actually hanging your boots.
Yeah.
You've been used to traveling the world, meeting many people, making friends.
Yeah.
And suddenly you wake up to no team to go to no friends to train with.
Yeah.
Just how have you handled that post-playing time?
Yeah, I think I was prepared enough. Yeah, one thing, I started playing football knowing that I won't play football for the rest of my time. And I was always praying that I get the opportunity to get money and to get to those levels, And I had in mind that once I get there, I have to utilize the time very well and the finances, because, when you're playing football, you earn a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I said, I know time will come when I no longer play football. So I decided to use well my funds.
Yeah.
So I could get the money and invest way back home. And when I retired, automatically I went to my investments.
Okay.
And started, running them. So it became very easy for me.
Maybe before you got your break, Andrew,
Yeah.
That game that you played finally for the Cranes, the 2-0 defeat away against Guinea.
Yeah.
2 questions. I don't know if you'll answer them all together.
Yeah.
We know how that game ended.
Yes.
And we know the trash that happened, the trash talk and the allegations of match fixing, you were paid here and that.
Yeah.
Maybe you could help us, take a trip back and tell us exactly how, one, the allegations that they raised, and 2, how did it make you feel for the country that, you've served all that long, and suddenly seems like they're all against you?
Then you retired after that?
Actually retired 3 years later officially.
Yeah.
So would want to know, why did it take you also 3 years to actually announce your retirement?
Yeah.
Those are 3-in-1 questions.
Yes. You said you want to, I should tell the public about that game.
Yes.
Yes, there were allegations, which allegations weren't true. You know very well, you are a sports journalist. You know the implication of fixing a game, more so on international level. I was a professional footballer who had played for some good time professionally abroad in different leagues, and I know, the implication of that. So I felt so bad when, actually, let me say, the people who fueled it were the media. Yeah, they played a very big role, in fueling that allegation. But again, with such allegations, the bodies that govern the game of football, they do their research and find out. Yeah. FIFA goes on to investigate, and CAF goes on as well to do what? To investigate. So they did the investigations, and they found out that nothing really happened, And the implication after finding out that it is true, the allegations are true, they will always ban the player, ban the country itself, and whoever is involved, they ban you from, getting involved in football-related activities. So I felt so bad. Why? I'm one person who played for the Uganda Cranes with all my heart, and even sacrificed a lot, like, for example, even the funds. I used to put in my money, age. I had clocked 34, and I was like, you know what, it is high time. Actually, I would have been called after, But remember, that game I played, I had to serve a 3-match ban, suspension. That is where people get confused. Oh, Lava, they didn't call him because of that. No, I would have been called. But the fact that, actually, I sat with Coach Mitchell, and I was like, you know what? I've not played the 3 games, you know, and the team has performed well, you know. So there was no need for me coming back and again, you know, shadow these boys. So we discussed, and I told Coach Mitchell, you know what? Let me give chance to these boys. They have a future. They have more time to play. You know, I'm remade with maybe 1 or 2 years, then I retire. Why should I, you know?
Let them have a chance.
Yes. So we agreed, and that is why you didn't see me being called again in the team, but not because of the game against Guinea.
Look, our interview is going to be going back and forth, current and past. Let's talk about 2006. You're leaving Uganda now. You're retiring from the league here. You're going to IBV.
In Iceland.
Yeah, you're going to Iceland now.
Yeah, Westman Island.
Oh,
they call it Westman Island.
Westman Island.
What's the guys? I'm confused. What's going on here?
Yeah, that's the name of the
That's the name of the club.
Yeah.
It is the name Westman Islands. It is an island where the town is situated and where the club plays from.
Is playing from as well.
Yes.
So did you learn what language do they speak in Iceland?
They speak Icelandic.
I'm sure you had learned a few things here and there. How do they say how are you in Iceland?
Gondain.
Gondag. Not Gundogan.
By the way, I used to speak very good Icelandic, but when I left, I started forgetting, and you know, I went to a country. I went to China. From there,
and what did you speak in China?
I failed to learn Chinese. Then I went to Kazakhstan, and I learned more Russian language.
Okay.
And I speak very good Russian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Spasiba.
Spasiba, Basray.
That's it.
But
let's start here. How do you end up leaving the country, and how do you settle in? Because I mean, you had not played professional football. How was that experience? Who brokered that deal? How did you know IBV wanted you?
A big thanks to my colleague Eugene Sepuya. Actually, it is a long story. Before going to Iceland, I had very many opportunities and offers. One in the States with the Columbus Crew, another one with the Santos in Brazil, and it is Eugene Sepuya who recommended me to one agent, and that agent was a scout for Columbus Crew.
Okay.
Yeah. So he recommended me there. And this guy started off, you know, with agents. They have other agents they work with. So it was through him that I was linked to very many agents. Yeah. So we had decided a plan that I should go to Brazil in Santos for trials. Then from Santos, I had to go to Columbus Crew for trials. But in between there, IBV came out, and they were very, very interested. Yeah, so it is at that point that they said, no, you just bring that boy over here. We've seen him. We've, you know, they Googled and found out all the information about me. So they picked me, and I flew to Iceland and started playing right away.
And that was it. You made so many moves because you went to China, you went to Kazakhstan, where you won the Kazakhstan Super Cup with the bus.
Time he was so patient with me, you know. And I also give credit to myself that much as they were patient with me, but I was a hardworking player.
And that's my point. You must give credit to yourself, because most footballers who travel abroad talk about language barrier, they talk about weather. I mean, you're in Iceland, for God's sake. They talk about language, they talk about weather, they talk about racism. Did any of these become huge challenges?
Yeah, actually, with racism, I think, why? In IBV, I was the first black African player in that club. Actually, let me say, is it being lucky? Because even in Kazakhstan and China, I've always been the first black player.
So was Tony Mawoje the second at IBV?
No, no, it was Agustin Insumba.
Oh, Agustin Insumba, yes.
Agustin Insumba, then Tony Mawoje.
Yes.
Okay. Mark, I want to cross over to you. I'm sure you have a question for Mr. Mwesigwa here. And of course, Joel Kamadi as well is online. We shall be crossing to him very, very shortly. So in case you want to ask the former Uganda Cranes captain anything, quickly head down to Twitter and use the hashtag NTVPressBox or our Facebook page and our Instagram pages as well. And later on, we shall be taking some phone calls as well in case you have a specific question you want to ask League Captain. Did you say League Captain? El Captain.
El Capitano.
Mark.
Yeah, can you hear me, Andrew?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I'd like to, I mean, you know this thing where they say if you were on a desert island or that kind of thing, what would you take with you? I'd like for Andy to tell the aspiring Ugandan professional, the aspiring Ugandan player, these kids who are coming through who fancy themselves in Europe and East Asia or whatever. What are the basic things that one needs? What are the attributes that you need? If a Ugandan player was going here, what are the things that they would pack in their suitcase? Not only the physical, but also in terms of attributes. What do you need for you to live today, land in Iceland, and make a career of yourself? What are those things that what is the checklist, the things you'd like to tick off that a Ugandan player should have for them to actually thrive in that environment? Okay. And then the second bit of my question, maybe I'll ask later, but he needs to tell us in physical things as well as the mental, what do you need to make it out there?
All right.
Yeah, I'll go straight to his question about what we are supposed to, actually what these young ones are supposed to carry as you're heading to professional ranks. One, I would say academics. It is very important.
Is it?
Academics are very important. Normally you see those clubs, you see teams on the pitch training and stuff like that. But that is not the training. The training is always in the boardroom. We do too much of the theory than practicals. And that is why you've always seen coaches, when those clubs are training, you don't see them, busy doing this because they've already taught the, the players, on board. So it is very important, one, to be accustomed to the blackboard. Yeah, because football these days, professionally, there is a lot of science. Yeah, so one, I should encourage them to, as much as possible, stay in school if there is the opportunity, okay? Because you leave your country, you're a star there, you've been doing a lot of tricks on the pitch and stuff like that, playing with the style. It is not the style that plays professional football. It is totally different thing. So you end up going with that, yet at professional, it is a different story.
The basics.
Yeah, so you have to know that you're going to learn, be ready to get accustomed to any environment you find there. So that is where the problems comes in, that many players here think they know a lot of football. After all, they've brought me from Uganda. Yeah. I'm going to shine. No, you don't know football, actually. Because actually, let me tell you, locally here, sorry to say this, but a few coaches are really professional, and these are the coaches that are nurturing us, So you find a problem when a player leaves Uganda, goes to those ends, in Europe or elsewhere. You find that at some point they were misguided and things end up doing what? Getting hard for them. Yeah, so I would advise as well local coaches to do more of research, so that they give to these players what is right and what is up. Yeah, yes, the right knowledge, so that we may not get problems when these players go abroad.
Of course, there's discipline, there's feeding, there's don't go to club.
Yeah, those ones, we are Africans. You get used to them. The feeding, you can eat anything, But maybe what I can say is about the weather.
Yes, the weather.
Yeah, we are used to the hot environment. In some countries, more so in winter, it is a different story. So you need to be aware of that and take care of yourself. They tell you, put on a jacket, these warm jackets, put them on.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you'll get sick and fail to play.
Yeah. And mine is, of course, outside of yourself.
Yeah.
Because the fact that you played 14 years, then you also captained the team from 2008 to 2015, and you've played alongside many players, central defense partnerships. I want to hear it from you.
Yeah.
Who was your best partner in central defense?
You all know it.
Yeah. I feel like I could have answered that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So actually, if you ask Ugandans which one has been the best partnership in central defense, they will tell you.
So you're changing the question.
Yeah. But to be honest with you,
yes.
My partnership with Ibrahim Sekaja.
Exactly. And the reason I asked that is I actually want to know the relationship between the two of you.
Yeah.
Your stories are kind of the same.
Yeah.
Sekaja left Uganda, went to the dungeons, Italy, Argentina. He really had to stick it out there until he made it happen. I could say the same. Yes, you didn't go to Italy and all, but your journey as well, you had to go there and just make it happen, no matter what. Just how much of character is it that the people should draw from you, and how much did you learn from Sekaja's story, because he went ahead of you?
Yeah, what I would love to even tell you is that me and Sekaja, we had seen one another a long time ago in secondary. Yeah, I was at St. Joseph's Nagalama with the likes of Obua when Sekaja is in Nagalama Islamic. And I crossed from St. Joseph's to Nagalama Islamic. So we used to play together. That it's a clique that we grew up, together, knowing what we really want. Actually, let me tell you, we were very, very, very determined. When it came to football, we could do whatever, as long as we've succeeded in football. So I think character, as you've said, we were strong-hearted people. If you get to know what Nagalama Islamic was and Nagalama St. Joseph's, you'll know exactly why we managed to get to those levels. Because we and with the likes of probably Coach Mike Motebi, because we were with him there. I think you see, we were nurtured really well. That is what I can tell you.
Look, and I want to cross over to Joel Kamadi to have reaction coming in online. Look, I mean, if you look at my script here, Andy, look at the questions. I want us to talk about that issue with Rwanda. Remember the Juju? Look, I want us to talk about your academy. I want us to talk about Obua.
Yeah, do we have the time?
No, we have time. Don't worry. Don't worry. I want us to talk about this team that you were playing with at the time and the future of Ugandan football. But there's so much reaction that currently is coming in online. Joel, what's happening?
I'm telling you what, I could listen to Andy Mwesigwa speak all day. Has stories, I can tell you that for a fact. We have so much reaction coming on social media, but this is just to keep you prepared, Andy Mwesigwa. I have something called a quick fire 5, which I want you to be answering after I do some reactions. So just prep your brain around that. I'll be coming to that a little bit later on. Let's start with Ham Parker, who says, live always from Abu Dhabi. First, I want to thank him. He is a brother figure to me, great man. Secondly, I want to ask him, when was the first time he cried over a football game? Secondly, who is the GOAT of Ugandan football? Trevor Mark has two questions. He asks, Andy Mwesigwa, how did you guys motivate each other in halftime if you were behind the scoreline? And 2, how does it feel to hear cheers of supporters in Nambole whenever Cranes was playing? Because now we have no fans in the stands, and it's the new normal. Jasper Solo says, I just want to appreciate Andy Mwesigwa for his effort towards developing the game from the grassroots through to his academy. Chibule Brian, Mwesigwa, I heard you have a football academy. Which kind of soccer are you teaching them? Lukemoi Dennis says, what is the relationship like between FUFA and ex-internationals? Moses K. Baguma, I salute you all, and I would like to appreciate Mwesigwa specifically for his deliberate contribution to our national team. Andy Mwesigwa, why have most Ugandan soccer players found it hard to break through when they travel abroad for greener pastures? Is it a question of discipline or something related to lack of skills and talent? That is Ronnie Biaruhanga. Nathan Emong, you say, Captain, do you think if sports was made separate from the education ministry, there would be a difference in the sector. We have Awilo who says, to Andy Mwesigwa, tell us the truth about the conduct of David Obua in camp as Uganda Cranes was preparing for the Kenya team before and after President Museveni visited the camp. And we have a viewer at Oasis Mall who says, hi Joel, as usual, this is Robert Anafande at Oasis Mall. We are listening and watching to PRESSBOX, and I can see Andy Mwesigwa on the show. Very, very positive deliberations and questions coming in to Andy Mwesigwa. I don't know if I should do my quick fire questions now, Andrew.
Yeah, let's do it now. Let's do it now. Andy,
I do them now?
Andy's ready.
All right.
So
Andy Mwesigwa, can my director give me some sound, please?
Yeah. You have 3 seconds
inside the studio. Okay. Andy Mwesigwa, can you hear me? Yes, I do. Okay, fantastic. I'm going to give you 5 quick fire questions. What you're supposed to do is just answer them from the top of your brain. Don't think too hard. Whatever comes to your head, give it to us.
In 3 seconds?
No. As fast as you can. 5 questions as fast as you can. Are we ready?
Okay, let's go.
Who was the toughest individual and team you faced? Individual and team.
In different teams?
Yes, different teams. Toughest.
I would say Geoffrey Serunkuma.
And the toughest team you faced ever?
FC Rosenborg in Norway.
Fantastic. Number 2, who was the most stubborn player in the national team when you're in camp?
Dan Wagaluka.
And number 3, what was the best game you ever played for the Uganda Cranes?
What?
What was the best game you ever played for the Uganda Cranes?
The best game I ever played?
For the Uganda Cranes.
Best game.
Best game.
Against Angola in Nambole.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Number 4, apart from football, do you have a secret talent that people do not know of?
Leadership.
Fantastic. And finally, what is the one accolade you wished you had won during your illustrious career?
Come again?
What is the one accolade, that you wish you had won during your illustrious career?
Ballon d'Or?
Yeah, Ballon d'Or.
I'm done. Those are my questions. Many thanks. Many thanks, Andy. Many thanks.
Thank you very much, Joel. We do appreciate that. We are going to take a quick commercial break, right, Mr. Producer? When we come back, though, here's an interesting one. As the show goes on, we're going to ask you about the academy and the school, which is what we're going to talk about next. We also are going to talk about a couple of big incidents. Someone has asked some important questions, FUFA and ex-internationals relationship, the GOAT of Ugandan football, if you've cried, if the Ministry of Sport should be separated from the one of education. But also, as we end the show, I'm going to ask you to name your best ever 11 that you have played with in Ugandan history.
Okay.
I think so many of your ex-players are going to be very unhappy that you want to mention them, but there you go. We shall get that very shortly. We're live from the Kampala Serena Hotel, and I'm telling you, we're powered by Guinness. PRESSBOX, we're live from the Kampala Serena Hotel, and just to remind you, the Kampala Serena Hotel is keeping the eggs for you. This Easter, the best place to celebrate with your friends and family is the Kampala Serena Hotel. They'll have a fantastic menu for you. They have a fantastic setting for you. And also there's a huge discount on the rooms. So for Easter, for the celebration, come down to the Kampala Serena Hotel and suddenly enjoy the best hospitality in town. And of course, we are proudly powered by Guinness. Make sure you're above 18 years of age and do drink responsibly. But I'm telling you, as a consumer myself, it's the finest beer you want to have. It will get you enjoying your football just more than you thought. Right. Max Ali is still on the line. We felt Mwangusha and I should play a small game because we're going to ask Andy Mwesigwa this at the very end. He's going to name the best ever 11 of the players he has played with. I want you to guess 3 names that will be in that team, and I will guess 3 names as well.
I can even guess 5, but Dennis Onyango in goal, himself and Sekaja in the middle, Simeon Masaba right back, Kizito, Nestroy left back.
Okay, stop there.
Geoffrey Serunkuma up front, David Obua right behind.
I'm putting in Hassan Mobilu. I think he's going to put Hassan Mobilu in the team.
But that's only one. I mean, you can't go as far. You complete the team.
I've tried the best I can. Let's quickly get this. We want to take some phone calls. Very shortly, we shall be opening up our phone lines in case you want to have some banter with the ex-captain here. But a couple of questions that came in from online. Have you ever cried because of a football game?
Oh yeah, on many occasions.
This is because of excitement or specific losses?
Sometimes excitement, sometimes it could be because of the loss. Yeah.
Who do you consider the GOAT of Ugandan football?
We've not yet had one.
Who?
Yeah.
Wow, he's playing it safe. You realize that was politics. He got political there.
I'm yet to see one.
Andy, maybe, are you talking about the ones you watched, or in your time, or even those you've heard about?
Even those I've heard about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't consider
the greatest is yet to be born.
I don't. Yeah,
the best is yet to come.
Wow.
What do you make of the relationship between FUFA, the federation, and the ex-internationals?
Yeah, to me, I think there is a structure, right? And the Players Association, ex-internationals, it is part of the federation, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we have representatives there, and I think they are doing a great job.
So you're happy with
Yeah,
that?
the relationship is okay.
Okay, as someone who has been heavily involved in sport, someone asked a very important question.
Yeah.
Do you think the government should separate the Ministry of Sport from the Ministry of Education so that there's more focus on sport? Does that make sense to you?
To me, I think it should be kept the way it is. Why? Because if you're developing the game of football, sports actually, you target the young ones, isn't it? And these young ones are in school. Yeah, so to me, I think they should be kept together. Education and sports, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to cross over to Mark Sally very shortly, but I think before I do that, the Mwesigwa Comprehensive High School.
Yeah.
Part of your investments, that's how you look at it.
My retirement project.
Retirement project.
Yeah.
But I think the people in the area are looking at this as a savior. Folks in Wakiso finally have a fantastic school where they can take their kids to. Just quickly give me a brief. Where do you get this idea from, and how is it doing at the moment?
I gotten this idea way back. I've always explained to people that, I grew up with a single mother. And my mom could tell me, actually she could treasure education. And she could all the time tell me, you know what, the only inheritance I can give you, my kids, is education. So I grew up knowing, education is something so special. And when I played football to those levels professionally and I got in money, I said, why not? Why don't I invest in what? In education. So the love and the zeal to invest in education came from my mom. Yeah. That's what I can say.
It's a standard structure. I'm thinking there is more emphasis on sport.
My school, you've said it, and the Mwesigwa Comprehensive High School, by the way, we are 4 years now in existence. But this is a secondary school, normal like any other secondary school. And in the school, we do sports. We reserve, my school is special in a way that for us on a daily basis, we reserve some hours for sports. And those are, that is from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock on a daily basis. Not like other schools, but it is not a football academy as many people think. Yeah. Though in holidays, that is when we have the academy training.
Tell me about the academy.
But it is a normal secondary school. Yeah, the academy, this is Uganda Mwesigwa Soccer Academy, Wakiso branch. There are 2 academies. One in Jinja, the one that has produced players like Mugulu Sisma now you've seen in the under-20, Oyo Dalton, the goalkeeper actually, the second goalkeeper in the under-20, they were in AFCON. Then Opal, all those players are from my academy in Jinja, Jinja branch. So it was from that I opened up another one in Wakiso. So this one is separate from the school. Yeah, this is an academy which operates in holidays.
But it must be fulfilling for you.
These
kids,
yeah, I feel so happy seeing kids playing football because
I saw your smile when you mentioned Isma Mugulusi.
Yeah, I'm proud of him.
Oh, yes.
I'm proud of him. Not only him, but I'm proud of them. Yes. Because actually, let me tell you, my academy has produced 7 players in the under-17 of Uganda and the under-20 of Uganda. That one in Jinja. The one in Wakiso has not yet produced any player. Yeah. As you're seeing, they are still young, but I'm hoping maybe in the near future, maybe 10 years from now, we shall have again players from Wakiso branch.
David Obua, I was reading an article as we look at more pictures. You are being visited by the Minister of Sport in there, the State Minister, that is Honorable Hamson Obua. I'm sure he was very happy to come through. What did you discuss with him before I ask you about Obua?
Yeah, actually, let me take this opportunity to as well thank him. He may be watching this show.
He has to be. I mean, if you're not watching the press box, what are you?
Yes, I'm really happy. Actually, let me tell you this. He has been the first sports personnel in the sports fraternity to visit me at the school.
Oh, okay. Sports fraternity means in the sports, private, and government.
Yes, yeah. He has been the first person. So I'm really happy. You know, he has been following me. Actually, while still playing for the Cranes, he was my very good friend. Yeah. Yeah, and I used to tell him about the project while playing, because I started constructing that school in 2010. You can't believe, when I just made a transfer to China. Yeah, that's when I started building the school. It's a long-term dream, this. Yeah, so I used to have a chat with him, and very many people. So I'm happy that he came and visited me. So the school is Mwesigwa Comprehensive High School, a secondary school.
That is in Wakiso.
Yeah.
All right. Mwangusha, I really apologize. I haven't given you time to ask questions, but just let me drop this one in. Before I ask you, then I can cross over to Mark. I was reading an article in the papers recently, and they described David Obua as a crazy, flawed genius. He quit the team at some point in very controversial situations. Before that, he had dropped a shot at Nambole and walked away. You were always with him in this side. Who is David Obua? How good was he? And does the world really know who he is?
To be honest with you, we are all born with different characters. With David Obua, he's a honest person, I should say. When he feels something, you know, on his heart, he will always right away react and shows it to the public. But it doesn't mean that he's a bad person or very indisciplined, as people may term it. But to me, I think he's just a realist. Yeah, when he means something, he means it. Yeah, so that is him.
You don't want to say?
I don't have to say much about it.
Mark, I'm crossing over to you now. You had one final question for him, because we want to jump into the squeaky bum time of part of the show before we take those phone calls. So I think let's take one question from you, then we can take phone calls, Mark.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. Now, I'd like Ande Mwesigwa to paint a picture for the viewers. And I always ask athletes, super athletes like him who come to the show, to be able to paint this picture so people can understand the industry we're talking about, its potential, and why others should aspire to join it. I want Ande to paint a picture. What are the average earnings of a player from Africa in leagues on the fringes of Europe, say Iceland or the others in Croatia or Serbia and all, and what is and also in Southeast Asia, like in Kazakhstan and even China, where he was an African player on average, or he himself, he can refer to himself and a few others who are around him. What do you spend this money on? The kind of money you earn, how much is it? What do you spend the money on? How easy or difficult is it to save? And how, for example, heavy were your own savings or your bank account by the time you retired? And then the investments you're making, where, apart from the school, are there others? Where is the money coming from? Is it all from your earnings back then? Or just paint this picture so that people can understand about playing careers and the potential of earning and where the money goes. And then also what we do in retirement. How, because we have so many footballers who came before you, Andy, and others who are coming in your time and after, who are not just footballers, but many sportsmen, who are actually have been living hand to mouth and now can't even live hand to mouth, have got to be supported by the communities because they are living a very, very poor life because they don't have anything left over from their playing days, or they didn't earn enough. So I want him to paint that picture. And why he's doing well. Yeah.
Yeah, I will answer, I will explain his statement this way, that there is a difference between players of those days who actually only played locally in Uganda and we who played professional. It is quite different. Let me tell you, when you get to, for me, in the countries I've played in football, there is really good money apart from Iceland. For me, Iceland was a stepping stone. But let me be very open and somehow slightly tell you about my contract in Iceland, because I've always been telling people. Yeah, in Iceland, in the year 2006 when I went, I was getting $2,500 per month.
Per month.
That included rent?
No, I was given a house, I was given a car.
Okay.
Yeah, that was salary. But we used to have bonuses, you know. Every game we could get $500, that is appearance, then $1,000 for a win.
For a win, yes.
Yes, and you know, a lot. So you could find that at the end of the month, maybe if you've played something like maybe 6 games, you wrap up something like maybe $8,000, like that.
Yeah.
But again, when I transferred to China, you people know very well, you are sports journalists. You know, in China there is really good money.
It's real money, yes, you're right.
No wonder that's when you started building the school.
Yes. In China, to be honest with you, let URA not come to me.
They've switched off, no worries.
Yeah, I used to get $20,000 per month.
That's good money.
That is in China for a full year. That is minus these other bonuses and stuff like that. But again, out of that money, you need to pay the tax. They deduct, and you end up maybe with something like maybe 17,000, 18,000.
Okay.
Then in Kazakhstan, again, it was way huge.
More than China?
Yeah.
That one we can't
because
mention.
I made a transfer. Yeah. It was a transfer from China to Kazakhstan. So if I was earning $20,000 per month, without these other bonuses and stuff like that, so you'll know how much I was earning in Kazakhstan. So
probably
now
40,000.
Yeah. So now getting to my colleague Mark on how these people end up end up being broke and stuff like that. I've told you, to those players before that didn't play professional, I can't blame them. Why? There was no money in Uganda.
Very different.
Yeah, very different. But I would blame a player of our era, who went abroad, played professional, and came back here and is on the streets begging.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that is what I can say about
that is fantastic. Let's take calls. Let's open up our phone lines now. You can call in and talk to Ande Mwesigwa. I think we shall try and take about 5 phone calls. Then I'll let Mwangusha in, and Joel will also give us some reaction that is coming in online before that 11 that he's going to mention. Trust me, I'm waiting to see the players he will put in his team. Good evening. Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
I'm getting you, Andrew.
Yes, fantastic. What's your name, my brother?
I'm Alex from Nyonyo.
Ande is here.
Yes, and I want to ask him what happened to him after winning the CAFA in Mwesigwa with Villa.
Pardon, please say that again.
What happened to Ande Mwesigwa after winning the CAFA in Mwesigwa with Villa?
what happened.
Yeah, what do you mean what happened?
Yeah, I want to know, because that time they leave country without money and they play up to final to win the final.
I'm not sure I got that. I think your line is not very clear, my brother. Please say it again.
I want to ask Ande Mwesigwa what happened to him and his team when they went to Tanzania and they win the CAFA championship.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we just didn't get the question right. It says what happened. I think what happened is they celebrated the trophy. That's basically what I think should be the best answer.
We played a wonderful tournament.
Yeah.
We won the trophy.
And you celebrated. That's it. Good evening. Welcome to the press box. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, my brother. What's your name?
I'm John from Jinja.
You have a question for Ande here?
Yes, I have a question.
We can even have your question in the local language. Please go on.
Kyembuuza ng'abazanyi baffe bakulu ababaddewo mu Uganda. They are so many whereby they can't even fund local teams, or they can't even form up the academy. So abo beeyagaliza. Ye katutala banga bagenda kukola agenda funa sente yetetoye ne family ze tulabira emito ampe batukwateko emito emito omupiira gwa Uganda gukule we bali kuweereza.
Carlos Sebo, I think he's talking about the footballers supporting, you know, what basically the other structures are. Indirectly, I think thanking you for your support, but maybe he's also talking about we need to have more ex-footballers come through and support more young kids across the country.
It takes a heart.
Yeah.
Is what I can say, and maybe, you know, sacrificing. You know, because many people, but again, it depends on how much you are earning. That is what I can say.
It's about the money. Let's try and take 3 more phone calls this evening. If you're watching the press box from wherever you are, please make sure you reduce or turn down pretty much the volume on your TV set so we can hear you well. Good evening and welcome to the press box.
Yes, how are you?
I'm fantastic, my brother. What's your name?
I'm called Sam Kwakola. I'm from Bale.
Ande is here.
Yes, Ande.
Yes.
Thank you for the love you gave the country. My question is, like, since you retired from football, have you tried visiting the national team from the camp and see how they are doing and giving them encouraging words? Oh, you've retired for everything.
Thank you.
That's a good one. Thank you.
Yeah. Visiting the camp.
National team camp. And
you know very well, we are in an era of COVID-19, so we are not allowed to visit the camp. Yeah.
But you'll be excited if you have the opportunity.
But I'm in touch with some of the players.
Okay.
Yeah, we do chat on our social medias, and I think our relationship is okay.
Fantastic.
Me and them, yeah.
Let's take just 2 more phone calls. Good evening. Do we have someone online? Good evening and welcome to the press box. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good evening, my brother. What's your name?
Yes,
Pardon?
Hello?
Kale sebo nawe je baleko.
Kali Tata. Yes, never got people for you.
Where bale kuraba sebo?
Hello?
Go on.
Hello?
Yes, sebo tukuwulira genda maaso.
I think we're struggling with this line. Let's try and take just 1 more call. So many calls are coming through, so we definitely are struggling with traffic. Do we have someone else online? Good evening. Welcome to the press box. Hello? All right, I think we shall stop it right there because we are really running heavy and the lines seem to be struggling. We shall have more reaction that is happening online. Just before I bring Mangusha in, you were supposed to travel and sign for South African Premier League side Bidvest Wits.
Yeah.
Everyone here knew the contract had been agreed. That did not happen. What happened?
We didn't agree.
That's it.
We didn't agree, and it fell out.
Just fell out.
Yeah.
Mangusha.
Andy, you played alongside, from the goalkeeper, Sekaja, Nestroy, and then you had someone called Simeon Masaba, right back. One of the, longest serving defenders in the country, but who did not play abroad. Yeah. Just tell me, how was Masaba as a person, and how did he manage to keep that discipline locally, the way he handled himself?
To be honest with you, Simeon Masaba, if you look way back in where he started playing football from, he also started from Busia.
Okay.
Busia, then he came to Iganga, and I think we've passed through.
Same corridor.
Yes. And we are very good friends, very close friends. And, we used to encourage one another. You know what? We need to work so hard. We need to be very focused. Actually, I was with him in Villa for some good time, and we end up again playing for the national team. But we are very close people. And to be honest with you, I think we have the same characters, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Whatever you find in Simeon Masaba, you'll find it in me. That is what I can say.
Two very humble dudes.
Yeah. And no wonder, he made it locally here. He didn't go professional, but to be honest with you, Simeon Masaba is not living a bad life. Yeah. In the little he earned locally playing football here, he's living a good life.
Fantastic.
He's not renting. He has other business. He has rentals and stuff like that. So
and he's fitting well at URA.
He's a great person.
Okay.
That is what I can say.
And this, I mean, you're on the spot. Under in the Uganda Cranes, under which manager you played? That was really, you could say this is it. Who was the best manager that coached you for the national team? Laszlo Zabba, Bobby Williamson, Mitchell Sredojevic.
To be honest with you, I've learned a lot from each one of them. Yeah, that's what I can tell you.
Okay, there you go. Joel Kamadi, if we can have a couple of reactions that are coming through, we shall then have that 11 from Andy Mwesigwa and close the show. So tell us what's happening online.
Andrew, and these are more of questions, actually. I don't know if you have a pen, you could note them down, and if you have time, you can ask Andy about some of these questions. Dia Tuhaire says, what inspired your financial discipline? Did you have any mentor or financial manager? And you go on to ask, can Andy tell us about the issue of age? Does he think many Ugandan footballers falsify their age to get professional contracts? Robert asks, who is the most impressive player in the Cranes setup at the moment for you? Lucy Kananura says, whose tactics did you prefer between Desabre and McKinstry? And then Henry, you ask, do you think you could get back into the team at the moment given a chance? Are you still match fit?
Fantastic. Are you still match fit?
After 4 years of retirement? No. Yeah. I'm not that fit to play. But you know, I was a professional footballer and I can jog around the ball and play leisure football.
Yeah, you can try.
Yeah.
Who do you consider the most bright talent in the current Crane setup?
I will again answer you the other way. We have a very good team, and they are all talented. Unless we get one who will come out and be exemplary.
And I think you have a great future political career.
Yeah. That's because of how you answer your questions.
No, I'm a director now of the Mwesigwa Comprehensive High School. I'm not thinking about any political career.
And let's get to the most recent one. What's your opinion over the treatment of Johnny McKinstry as national team coach?
To me, I think it wasn't right. I don't know what it is called, because I understand, I read that he was told to step aside. But to me, I think that is firing somebody. But again, when you get to, you know, we are striving so hard to get to professional levels as a country via, let me say, football or sports. But when you check the way this coach was treated, telling him to step aside before the end of the campaign, to me, I think it wasn't professional enough.
Okay.
Why? We're in the second position. We had the chances to qualify.
Yeah.
You know, he had. You know, you can ask yourself, how did he get to the second position? You know, so if the team is performing and is in the second position, and we still even have more games to go, they are taking 2 teams in the group. Okay, and we're even looking at maybe the best loser in all the groups. Yeah, we had chances of qualifying. Again, you can ask yourself, if you look in his contract, you know, I don't know how his contract looks like and what they agreed with the federation. But my question is, what we need to have an explanation from the federation. What has McKinstry not done that he was assigned to do in his contract? Yeah, that is why we can maybe say, okay, they were right maybe. Because I'm very sure he was fired. He's not coming back. Because if you ask yourself, if the national team wins these last 2 games, are you bringing him back?
Absolutely not.
And if the national team loses and we don't qualify, is he coming back?
Nope.
Yeah, so it is firing.
It's
so we need to know in details, was he assigned to take the team to Nations Cup, or was he assigned to win CHAN, or maybe development? You know, that maybe we want you to develop our team, become maybe a superpower in maybe 3 years. Did he do it or he didn't? You know, than firing him.
His first 2 years of the 3-year contract, one of them went to COVID.
Exactly. So to me, I think the assessment, you know, on why they told him to step aside, to me, I don't think was professional enough.
And we've got to wrap this, man. First of all, we've had a fantastic interview. I'm sure folks out there have enjoyed them. Keep those reactions coming. But before we leave, we need that starting 11, that best 11 of players you've played with, one per position. One position throughout the 11. Let's go. Who would you start? Let's start with goal.
I told you, my colleagues, the Andrews, I told you I have a different answer from what you people may think.
Okay.
Why? That I've played under, I think, maybe 3 generations. In 3 generations. I played with the likes of Edward Isali while partnering me in central defense. That is another generation. I played with who? Batawai was last. With this boy went in. He's in Ethiopia now. Isinde. You know, that one is also another generation. You come to the Batabaire and Sekaja. That's a different generation. Actually, with the Tenywa, we were entering the national team. I found Tenywa in the team.
Yes.
So it is quite hard for me, you know, to point out, you know, selecting my first 11, because in every generation, we did very good.
Okay, let's just drop in their names for the sake.
But what I would say, I would mention some really extraordinary players.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
And actually, I will mention maybe 4 or 5. Yeah. Okay. One, I would mention Dennis Onyango, because without doubt, he has proved to the country and to the world, actually. You know, he's among the best goalkeepers in the world.
Yeah, in the world, that's true.
In the world.
Yeah.
We'll go to...
Right back?
No. I'm mentioning players.
Okay.
I'll get to, in defense, I'll get to Ibrahim Sekaja. And then I'll go ahead by mentioning the David Obuas, Simeon Masaba, not to forget. I will not put myself. Then I will go with Geoffrey Serunkuma. I will go with Vincent Kaizi also.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Yeah. I will go with I think those are all. Maybe I've forgotten.
I thought you were going to say Noah Babadi Kasulu.
Yeah, of course. Many. That's why I've told you. It is very hard for me to mention that best 11. Yeah, because actually I'm selecting from, you know, but I have very many of them that could make those levels and make up a very good
dear viewer, I'm sure you realize he has, again, not answered that question as well. Mwangusha, your final word to him?
No, I actually think he did well, because none of your suggestions is in his team.
I was guessing.
So all I can say is it's really refreshing to have an ex-international coming here, and they're actually looking towards life, even more gleaming, and they're actually already giving back to the game that gave them. You see how proud he was talking about the Ismail Gulusis, and you know what the academy is doing, and even in education. So I think that's something that should encourage youngsters, that you can actually do everything and also have more after you've long retired.
Okay. Yeah. And your final question, your final reaction. There's so many young football fans who are watching you. There's football administrators who are watching the game now. There's local coaches. What would be your final message from a footballing perspective to Uganda tonight?
Yeah, my final message would be, let me first send a message to the young ones who are pursuing their careers to play professional football, or maybe play football to higher levels. Yeah, this is something not easy. You need to put in a lot of efforts, get focused, be determined to make it, you know. Some of us were not all that talented and with a lot of skills and stuff like that, you know, but we were determined, very focused, and we were professional in our lives. So that message should go to the young ones. Be professional, be hardworking, and to me, I think at the end of the day, you'll make it to those levels. Then, to the administrators, let the game of football win. Let us put aside politics, put aside corruption, you know. Let's work for the game of football. Yeah.
Ande Mwesigwa, asante sana. Thank you very, very much for coming. We definitely are going to come and visit the school. We do hope folks in Mukono are excited about the school, and also please keep supporting Ugandan football as you've always done, my friend.
You're welcome, sir.
Asante sana. There you go. We're proudly powered by Guinness. I want to thank Mark Sali. I want to thank Joel Kamadi. I want to thank Andrew Mwangusha. I want to thank you, Ande Mwesigwa. I want to thank everyone who has been viewing the show tonight. As we sign out tonight, proudly powered by Guinness.